the results of today's planche session completely contradicts with all my prior knowledge and experience with how my body typically responds to the planche. So for context, before this session, I actually played tennis for about 3 hours. So that's it's a very heavily arm dominant sport. So likewise with the planche, it demands a lot of arm strength, shoulders, biceps, and ideally you shouldn't really be doing cardio before any strength exercises. So it's rather surprising to see that in this session, I actually held my strongest half lay attempt. So when I did this half lay on this resistance band, it felt super light. It almost felt textbook in terms of what I normally perceive as a very strong planche day. And just looking at this hold right here, I kind of just looked back because I started getting a bit cocky. It felt very light. I felt very powerful. And despite the fact that I was super fatigued from tennis, I was still able to perform maximal, like a maximal delivery of strength in this way. Another point for this session that I found rather unique was, I cut this this training scheme down to only 2 exercises. So that was literally just planche attempts and shoulder press. So with this shoulder press, I kind of went for a different approach. I used safety pins to just kind of stop it in a stationary motion. I kept it at a rather high stance, mainly because that is my sticking point. I don't really know how effective this is in transferring strength directly to my shoulders, but I did feel it quite a bit on my shoulders, though I do not quite understand the shoulder engagement throughout this whole full range of motion. So I guess what I'm doing at this point is I'm merging a lot of conventional barbell strength approaches, so like those kind of disciplines, compared to the the unorthodox calisthenics type skills. So like what we normally see with training in with barbells is like you do pause squats or like pause reps. You do other forms of variations that are highly specific to the barbell. And actually, now that I think about it, that may be rather similar to the planche as well, because you're using variations as most specific to the exercise itself. But I guess what I'm trying to get to is that this raw display of just like pure output and just like very free lifting type technique, just for me, just completely contrasts with the calisthenics mindset. So the fact that I'm applying barbells, enjoying my training, and seeing progression is very exciting, because I've mentioned this in multiple videos now. My recovery is I'm taking it a bit more seriously, not in the sense of discipline, but I'm taking a lot more days off throughout the week. So maybe around like 3 days off, when typically I would either get 1 day of rest or just not even get a rest day. It's interesting to see. I'm truly intrigued with how my body is responding to this amount of to this whole new novelty. And I'm surprised that while I firmly believe that I was most effective at high frequency, high intensity, going for like a 1 to 2 time frequency of the planche weekly has actually produced explosive amounts of progression. Obviously, I don't want to jinx this, but it's something that I'm definitely going to take note in this advanced planche journey. So that's basically it, and I'll finish it off here.